in this video, I am going to show you guys what I've been working on in preparation for the next large-scale work. Because since I showed Birthright and since it sold and I didn't have anything to replace it with, the bar has been raised and I have to outdo myself again. And frankly, I really need this challenge. So I'm going to show you the ugly sketches I've been working on, the ugliest of the ugly. And we're going to talk a little bit about the dark and the light feminine. But before I get into all of that stuff, let me just tell you about a bit of a dilemma I have been having. A not so small dilemma, actually. So when I am illustrating something, I have to really feel and really embody what the characters are going through in that moment and what they're experiencing for the feeling to come across. And sometimes, often in the past, what has happened is that because I'm spending so much time in those feelings, the things that I illustrate end up showing up in my life in some way. And there's been a lot of things that I've manifested that were chaotic or unnecessary or quite heartbreaking that I did not want or really need. And I'm also scared. I'm scared because I'm not gonna lie, there's been a lot of really dark times over the last 3 or so years. I went through my Saturn return in Pisces in the 8th house. And it was just a lot. It was a lot. There are certain places that I just can't go to right now. I can't. For example, this idea, this is a drawing from a couple months ago, sometime in April, and there's nothing really going on in this drawing. There's nothing really remarkable about it. The original idea for this was that this was supposed to be a piece of a mermaid's tail, and there was supposed to be like pieces of her other body parts on the table, and it was extremely dark. And what's happening off stage is that these male characters are talking about these new, like, what they want to do with the prostitutes in the city, and it's very misogynist and so on. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I can't go there right now. In many ways, I can't. And since I have brought more of the light feminine with the Virgin into my work, this has actually really helped. And things have gotten a lot better, and the things that I have personally been manifesting have gotten a lot better. And so there is a big part of me that's like, no, like, please, like, don't make us go back to before we had the Virgin, before. However, on the other hand, I also don't want my art to just be all love and light and positive vibes only, man, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe that that's what spirituality is for. There are a lot of ways to alchemize and work with dark emotions. Dark emotions hold a lot of power that is better used than simply avoided and ignored. And furthermore, my work does tend to be quite dark. So I can't avoid that. I can't just ignore all of these ideas. And lately, there has been this theme of purging, and it's showing up in the form of, where is this? Oh, it's a mermaid. It's the woman purging from the heart. I don't know where the actual drawing is. I can't find it right now. It's disappeared temporarily after this move, but the theme of purging has been really prominent. That's what this is about. That's also what all the bats are about. It started, where did it start? Go back. Started with this one. But that has also been a big theme, is like purging the darkness and this need to wygnit, to expel the, you know, certain things, sexual trauma that gets stuck inside. And art is a safe space. Art is an incredibly powerful way to alchemize these things, to work with this darkness. And so with this new idea that I'm kind of working on right now, that I've been drafting, it has to do with mermaids. There is some difficult imagery that's in there that I will have to illustrate, but I'm scared that it's gonna happen again, and I don't want it to happen. So I need to get more control over this whole manifesting thing. And one of the ways that I am going to try to do that is by blending the dark feminine with the light feminine together. So we touched on this briefly in the last video, where I showed you guys kind of the contrast between the dark feminine in Birthright and the light feminine of the Virgin Mary. And these two works are quite similar in some ways. It's both the same woman. They're both topless. There's some sexual activity going on. And the dark feminine we were allowed to show, and this one we were not. And so dark feminine has a lot to do with boundaries, saying no, speaking up for yourself, not having a scarcity mindset, a lot of Lilithian themes, a lot of the things that Lilith helps with. Lilith is a dark goddess, a dark infernal, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to get into all of this stuff. And the light feminine has to do more with loving, compassion, and innocence. And to be quite honest, I think one of the reasons why we weren't able to show this at the exhibition was because it is blatantly sexual. And there is kind of this idea that sexuality can never be innocent. And the Virgin has a lot to do with this. It's this idea that once you have experienced sexuality, once you have known a man, you're not a virgin anymore and you've lost your innocence. And so depicting an experience of sexual pleasure that is innocent is somehow very taboo. But I don't think that that's true. And the thing is, we always talk about the dark and the light feminine in contrast and opposition to each other, but in reality, we need both to work together. We need to be able to express this loving innocence, and we also need the dark feminine to protect that side. And so in the next big work, although I have not decided exactly what the imagery is going to be yet, I have decided that I want to try to show the dark and the light feminine together and how they're both present in the same woman. And I'm not sure if the mermaids are gonna show up. There's a few different ideas that I have for that. One of them involves Lilith and Samael. Another one is a different depiction of the Virgin once again. So next week I'm gonna have to decide, and I will show you guys what I'm, like, some larger drafts. And in the next video, I'm also gonna talk about the graphic novel and what's going on with that, because I know the stuff I've been sharing over email has been a little weird lately. So maybe I'll even read you guys a little bit of the text I've been working on that has to do with these new ideas. So that will be for next week. In the meantime, if you have not joined the email list, you can do that at fruitstains.com. That is how you will get the Fruit Stains Weekly every single Thursday, as well as other updates in the meantime. And I will see you next week. Toodles.